charisma by being aware of logos, ethos, pathos. How to develop your confidence in projection about the Greeks. They studied it for a long time. Today I want to talk about building a presentation from scratch. Basically getting over my writer's block to getting to the point where I'm ready to give the presentation. The first thing I like to do, step one, basically topic, audience, and your purpose. So for instance, topic, usually given to you by a teacher, maybe your boss, or maybe you get to pick the topic. Even better, you pick something you like to talk about, it's fun, it's easy, and your delivery is awesome. The second one is audience. Audience, again, you usually don't get a pick in most cases, but it's really, really important in determining how and what your content is. And finally, probably the most important one, is thinking about your purpose, right? Many times, for me, my purpose was just not to die. The presenter does not want to make his audience not want to watch him. The way you counter that is basically think about what the audience would want, which is they probably want to be entertained, they probably want to learn something, they want to be informed or persuaded. So for this speech, for instance, my topic is pretty straightforward, right? Public speaking and how to improve it. My audience is ideally English speakers on YouTube who are looking for tutorials on getting better at public speaking or creating a presentation. And finally, my purpose is being able to communicate and share the amazing experience I had and sharing some of the shortcuts and pro tips, if you will, that I came across during my development and during my path. At the end of creating this task, you're naturally segueing right into the very important step of brainstorming. And over time, I learned to get over myself. And a good saying I learned, let it go so you can let ideas flow. So there's no right or wrong answer when pre-writing. You're just writing out every possible idea that you think might be related or you might want to include in the presentation. And write them down in as coherent sentences and ideas as I can. Just make sure you get them all down. At that point, you'll find that they naturally float into different areas and that you can group the ideas into major themes or maybe even topics for your presentation. What's cool about that is you've written half of your presentation already. It leads us into step 3, is the structure. Structure is pretty straightforward, just the organization of how you want to give the information. By questions you could ask yourself. For instance, is it a story? Is it naturally segregated into a beginning, a middle, and an end? Is it training or education? Does it have a natural progression of steps? There's no right answer to this, and it should be determined according to your needs and your purpose, right? If you're really not sure how to proceed, it's the 5-paragraph form. First paragraph is going to be your introduction, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, followed by a conclusion. Just your basic 5-paragraph essay. And that's exactly what I did when I was creating this presentation. So at this point, honestly, you're in great shape. You should have your content locked as well as your structure locked. So basically you have a script, you have everything you think you want to say. Now comes the interesting part. When you actually start to practice it, you'll realize what you actually want to say will not come out nearly as good as you thought it would. That leads me to the 4th point. Refinement or practice of your speech. What I like to do is read my script aloud in a natural a way as possible and to time it. And I do this at least 3 times. And as you start to say it, you'll realize you start to say it in new ways each time, or with better transitions, or with better examples, or with better tone or presentation or anything. Each time you'll do it, you'll notice it magically sounds better. Just add the thing that sounds like it needed to be added, change the transition, make it more natural. Feel free to chop up your script as you're doing this. So give yourself that flexibility. When you feel that you've done it maybe 3 to 4 times, I like to give myself a little status check. And I'd ask myself a few questions. Are you beginning to speak more freely about the topic versus just reading something? Are you more comfortable ad-libbing? Maybe you forget an actual point, but you can talk around the point. So the goal is just to be real or off the cuff. This leads me into the 5th step, practicing the presentation. And the end goal is basically to take my script and each time to make it shorter. The more familiar you are with your speech, the less you'll need to read it, and the less you'll need to actually refer back to your notes and just talk freely about it, right? After about 3 times, I would say you should start to feel that your notes are very minimized, and your transitions should be really smooth and really polished, and you should note an increased comfort in going through the material, right? If you're not, just keep going. 3 times may not be enough. Sometimes it takes 5 or 10 times, but the point is it will keep going up. Step 6, just And do it as serious as you possibly can. Wear whatever you're going to wear. If you screw up, you keep going. It doesn't matter how you feel, you just do it. Simulate the battle conditions so that you have the right mindset when you actually need to do it. This can be accomplished a lot of different ways. Recording yourself with your own cell phone, or just having someone sit down and allowing you to look at them while you're doing it. If you have no equipment, look in the mirror. You'd be amazed at the levels of comfort that you can increase the more you do this kind of practice. Is to look at eliminating some of the weird sounds we make. We all do it. We create filler words. A lot of times we have physical nervous twitches that we have to work through and notice.
Mannerisms like bobbing your head or just twitches or always doing the same thing.
But it really raises it to the next level when someone's able to stop and pause for impact without relying on nervous tics. But just being aware of it and being cognizant of it, I assure you it's not a useless exercise. So in closing, guys, thank you so much again for your time. This video hopefully provided you with a number of skills that you can put into practice. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it on Facebook,